Ask any filmmaker what's important, and they'll tell you it's the story. It's a story behind the image that keeps the viewer's attention and keeps it interesting. When I hear the term stock footage, I think of images of objects or actions like tropical gardens or a person walking on a tree branch. These can be important elements in telling a story, but as standalone pieces, they usually feel stale and lifeless. As I set out to capture my own stock footage, I wanted to do it differently. I wanted to put story first. I wanted to capture life as it happens with story-driven parameters. I wanted to set the stage for beautiful things to happen and just let them happen. And of course, capture the moments in the most spectacular way possible. These stories are about perspective. What's extraordinary to one person is completely ordinary to another. The concept is titled Ordinary People to reflect this idea that we're all ordinary and extraordinary, simply depending on whether you're living it or watching it be lived. One of my favorite places in the world is the Big Island of Hawaii. Its epic landscapes, scenic diversity, and easy access make it the perfect place to capture amazing footage. Even on my modest budget, I was able to charter a helicopter for volcano aerials, book a scuba diving trip for the underwater segment, and rent an off-road vehicle to access some hard-to-reach places. In order to keep my costs down and move quickly, I needed a small and nimble production team. I brought my two favorite adventure companions along who I knew would be up for anything. I also conveniently wrote them into two of the stories as an additional way to save money and keep our team small. It goes without saying that selecting the right people for the job was one of the most important decisions I made, and thankfully I chose well. For the other characters, I reached out through my social networking channels and found some amazing, talented people who live near the places I wanted to shoot. Since these people were actually living the lifestyles of these characters from my stories, I knew their performances would feel authentic and natural. To achieve a cinematic look and feel and keep my footprint small, I used the MoVI Pro stabilization gimbal to keep my footage smooth as I made dolly, jib, and tracking moves through my locations. For the underwater shots, I used a Sony a7S Mark II in an Ikelite underwater housing, which was ideal for the typically low-light underwater shooting environment. For aerials, I used the GoPro Karma drone since it was not only extremely portable, but the GoPro camera itself could double as a second underwater camera, or we could put it on a small stabilization gimbal for most of the behind-the-scenes shots you see in this video. Finally, for our time-lapse shots, we used a Canon 5D Mark IV, a Canon 60D, and a Sony a7S Mark II. We used a vintage set of Leica Rs as our primary lenses, which are super compact and give the footage a warm, cinematic look and feel. For remote lens control on our shoot, we used the Freefly Systems Pilot. Not only was it a versatile, high-performance way to control our focus, but it also allowed us to control the MoVI Pro and Red Epic camera directly. This enabled my camera assistant to have complete control over all aspects of the technical side of the camera system, allowing me to focus solely on the creative aspects of shooting. We could also program pan and tilt to the pilot's controls for times when we needed a second operator for a shot without the need for a MoVI controller. Combined with a set of lightweight Redrock Micro SLS lens motors, which plug directly into the MoVI Pro, I was able to keep my camera package small and lightweight without sacrificing power, control, or versatility. Combined with other essential production equipment like the Teradek Bolt 3000 wireless video system, a Daybright SmallHD 503 monitor, and Core SWX batteries, my team had everything we needed to shoot professional, high-end footage and fit it all into a few backpacks when we needed to get in and out of our locations. For my film The Wanderer, I was actually using my focus puller, Sam Butt, as a character in the film, and I needed a way to pull my own focus on the gimbal when he was in front of the camera. I used the Redrock Micro Navigator to do this, which allows you to control focus, iris, and zoom from a device that attaches to the gimbal handles. You can also use a small joystick on the Navigator to control pan and tilt on the gimbal, which was especially useful when there was not enough space for me to steer the camera with the MoVI handles, such as when I was shooting out of a helicopter. The prospect of making a living shooting stock footage is pretty compelling. You're released from the confines of commercial constraints or oversized crews. You get to chase your own creative visions and choose your own adventures. It's still a whole lot of work, but it's a lot of fun doing it. Whether your footage will sell or not is beyond the scope of this video, but shooting authentic, story-driven, cinematic footage will certainly help your shots stand out from the crowd and be noticed. And in the end, the experience you'll gain from bringing your stories to life will make it worth the effort every time.